Hi YouTube, Jolly Green 1990 here with my live reaction and review of One Piece chapter 1083. So, say live action, I was spoiled just a little earlier, but I was not able to really dive into it. So this will be more of a review than a live reaction. So, for chapter 1083, The Truth About That Day. This is a scan, so if you want to wait till official release, wait till Sunday. I like the cover page because it's Doflamingo tending to a fallen chicken and making a nest with his coat. I like this simply it's showing he has a humane side. He still kind of has his rough face, but I like that. So, jumping right in. We accomplished everything we set out to do. Come back to Kingdom. Queendom. All three objectives were taken care of. Officially declared war, destroying the Celestial Dragon symbol, rescued Kuma, and freed as many slaves as possible. Finally, we managed to find and destroy the Holy Land's food reserve. This was mentioned, and I was a little confused why this was a big deal. So what was the fallout? It was nothing to sneeze at, but we got the world's attention, and the Navy ended up sending in the big guns. Meanwhile, we triggered uprisings in 12 nations where we held strong influence, 8 of which were successful. Well, you say 8 were successful, but one of them vanished, the kingdom of Lucia. I like that he really points out, saying, hey, look, we lost the kingdom. We freed them, and they got wiped out. The government went in and the headlines censored everything, but the 7 others have all declared their intent is to no longer pay the celestial tribute or comply with the exploitative exploiting of the resources. On top of that, revolutionaries are attacking government supply carriers all over the world to stop resources from reaching Mary Jo's. They say the Holy Land's high up location makes it an impenetrable fortress, but we'll see how they like living under siege. They finally get a taste of what it is to live in poverty and go hungry. Yeah, ha 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 ha. That's what I call a result. Indeed, we've not been able to cut off all the supplies, but we're squeezing them slowly but surely. They may be struggling by now. Expected though, they were not a foe who would just take this line down. A real battle start when they mobilize God's Knights. So, YouTuber I watched briefly kind of mentioned the guy in front of the God Knights looks like Shanks. I don't. I'm 99% sure it's not Shanks. But I do think essentially they are going to be a tough foe because Marines are slacking, so now they got to bring in a powerful force. You realize you will be the number 1 target, right, Sabo? Or should I call you Flame Emperor Boy? I'm not too hard on that name. He's like, no, I don't like that. Doesn't matter whether the truth behind King Cobra's assassination is. The news reports have made you a hero already. In the eyes of revolutionaries everywhere, authority figures within the world government are hated for being superhuman monsters. While there are certainly many malignant, power-hungry despots who deserve that reputation, there are also a number of intelligent and fair rulers too. And Abrabasta's King Cobra was in a class of his own. Everyone considered him to be an outstanding sovereign. Fortunately, misinformation spreads after the nuisance like this. This might be cold to say, but while I feel bad for what happened to King Cobra, I think I can live with the way all things played out as it helps the flames of rebellion. I don't like that because originally they're like, hey, if he did kill King Cobra, we're going to have words. And so now he's like, hey, yeah, I feel bad I killed him, or it looks like I killed him, but it still worked out. It's like, no, no. That's why I feel bad about it. Go. My, you really are unshakable and spit it out already. What really happened? Is there any truth behind the scoop? King Cobra assassin. I love that picture. They show his wheelchair. They show him essentially looking like he's dead. And they show Sabo lying over the body. Staying over the body. They all shed tears over this, desperately trying to find an explanation. Because we all wanted to believe in you. Over a month ago, flashback. Over a month ago at the home of the gods in the Holy Land of Mary Joyce, not long after the river began, they're attacking the home of the gods. This really surprised me, the scale of the explosion. Get out here to help you lousy bureaucrats. They blew up the storehouse. Intruders are with the Revolutionary Army. We're under attack. It's the 4 captains. This is outrageous. First they attacked our beloved symbol, and now the plebes have taken our exquisite food. This jealousy of the remnant no bounds. I don't even want to keep their heads just exposed once. After that, some of all those dreadful bodyguards and have them executed. There's no wretches allowed this to happen on their watch. You depraved snail, you told you to hurry. What would you do if something were to happen to me? I had enough, I'll walk myself. Consider yourself fired, you useless piece of trash. trash. I like the fact they're showing essentially that pirates are still carrying them. My gun, who do you think you are? Crowing. Rowling soot. So, this was one I was spoiled on, but I really like Kirasu. I love the fact, so we find out his fruit is not a crow like we thought. It is actual soot fruit. I'm curious to see what the official translation will say. Escape to the east of the city. Okay, it's the Revolutionary Army. Huh. Get St. Plumbing to safety. Let's riddle this scum with bullets. Blast them till there's nothing left. Huh? Don't tell me there really is nothing left. And then he whistles away. Abel, Suits, Laser, Shut. Hurry up and gather these sides. So we're going to get you out of here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can thank us when you're free. When we see Lindbergh, they're really going out over there. We're heading this way. Hurry up and release everyone. Leave it to me. Crow, Runcon. We see Gravity Admiral. And then we see, oh my, this boy sure likes to play rough. Morley versus Greenbolt. You're the ones destroying the city. Just cough up where your leader went off to. You shouldn't sniff around and stalk people, you dirty little perv. You're as bad as him. Watch where you're swinging. Ryuko, you jerk. I'll see it to you that you hang if any of us get hurt. Damn, it's impossible to fight here. Get out of the way already. Fugitora, what do you think you're doing? I'm calling in a meteor strike. Don't be an idiot. That's a terrible idea. There are two admirals here. If we're anywhere but the home of the gods, there'd be more than enough power to turn you upside down. So, Yujiro Watch essentially mentioned, that they had a handicap. You can argue and say, yes, they did. But these two still kind of got washed or got ran over. And Fugitora and Green Bull, Devil Fruits particularly, are a wide over area, which doesn't particularly work in this situation. So, yes, they had a handicap, but they could have done better, I feel. Even if you ignore the handicap, the revolutionary captains are doing well to stand on their own ground. Just goes to show they're no pushovers. Kappa, yo. Sabo, don't you have the keys to these collars yet? I just found out where they keep them. It won't be long. Huff. Lindbergh, what's up? Kuma-san's in Pangaea Castle too. I just spotted him with that dang father and son idiot duo, Roswell and Charles. They must still be looking to get revenge. The thing we heard about at the public courtyard. Shiroshi. He hasn't given up on Shiroshi. I won't forgive him for using Kuma like this. Yeah, he won't let them get him. Only make sure everything's ready. Okidoki, father. Can't you buzz off? I'd rather have Ice Admiral grab help. Don't worry, protect you. Like you protected Shiroshi, or wait, you didn't. And that creep's definitely going to target her again. I'm afraid only King Cobra has permitted an audience with the five elders. But, cough. Chaka, Pell, this won't take long. And it would be tedious for you to wait outside. It'd be much better use of your time to look out for Vivi. She's always been a mischievous one. You can't let her out of sight for a second. Chapter end. I'm going to do a short review tonight. I might go back and do it later. So pacing, honestly, so we always do pacing, character, and story. Pacing, honestly, was not bad. So we have Sabo meeting essentially with Dragon and Ivankov. We have a flashback to essentially the courtyard. We have Lindbergh and essentially Kirasu. We switch to essentially inside the castle. And then essentially we switch to where King Cobra is. So 4 parts, which honestly is not bad. So pacing, I'm saying a 5 out of 5. Phenomenal. Let's jump right into character. So I said I'm going pretty fast tonight. So forgive me. If you want more, I'll go back and do it. But for me, so Ivankov really stood out. I like the fact that he is frustrated, he's angry, and he's excited about the fact, that finally putting on the world government on their toes and making them feel what it's like to have someone essentially come after them. Dragon, for the fact that he gives that he gives respect to Cobra, but he still said, hey, things turned out. Cobra's one of the good ones. Sabo, the fact that, I want to say down, but honestly goes up, the fact that he's willing to do anything for his objective. He feels bad for Cobra, but it's like, look, we did what we had to do, we did it. So, Ivankov, for me, was good. Dragon was brief. Sabo, the fact I said, he's got his ideals. For me, character Kirasu, the fact that we know he has a soot fruit, and the fact that he's talking. Before we didn't have him talk, and now we have him more kind of talking. And so I have to wonder if there's a reason he's emulating a crow. We see his actual fighting style, and the fact that he's able to essentially have a name attack versus Fujitora, Morley versus Green Bull. So I would say give Morley, but I'm going to actually say give more credit to Green Bull. The fact that Green Bull is trying to find out where Sabo is, but at the same time, the world nobles are essentially getting mad at him, and usually he's on their side. And so the fact that he's not just yelling at them, the fact he's being calm and focusing on his objective, I give him credit. That's impressive. These are people essentially he worships. They're yelling at him. He's mad. He's frustrated, but he's like, no, I got my objective. Vivi a little for the fact that she has her guts and she's not willing to budge, and she sees that, when she's like, oh, the CP9 0 is off here. She says, no, I'm not an idiot. No. I want to say Cobra, but we haven't seen anything yet. So for me, the big ones were said Ivankov, Sabo, Kirasu, Green Bull. You could argue, I said, Lindbergh and Morley and even Fujitora, but these are the four that really stand out to me. So to me, the fact that these four stand out, I want to say, I'm impressed. It's solid, but it's not a 5 or it's not a 4.5. To me, it's a solid 4. Character, there's quite a few, but the main ones stand out that do a lot. Good for that. So right now we're at a 9. Story development. There was some, but not a lot. So I'm jumping through. If you want to go back and do it later, with more reviews, in depth. But for me, it's a story. The fact that Revolutionary Army accomplished their goals. The fact that they destroy it, so they had 3 goals, and then the fact that they destroyed the Holy Land's food reserves, they really point that out. Something about that it seems odd to me. Just why was that such a big deal? There's got to be something in their food reserves that's unique for them. You have 11 kingdoms essentially were in revolt. 8 that actually went through and are no longer paying money to the world government. That's a big deal. Perspective essentially that Sabo killed a world government leader, and so now essentially it's going to be the world government is going to be genuinely coming after the world revolutionaries. I mean, it's straight up going to be a war. They've put themselves on that level now. There was an actual fire in Mary Jo's, the home of the gods. I'm straight up, not just the outside. I mean, literally, it was being attacked, was on fire. They weren't able to do anything. The introduction, essentially, a hint at the gods' knights. They're going to be more likely they will be a big power force later on. We see the revolutionary commanders being able to hold on, maybe not necessarily defeat, but at least being able to hold their own against the admirals for an extent. Now, I think full on their full powers, if we use their actual hockey, yes, they would defeat them. But I still think they would be able to hold on. To me, I think of the Emperor's crew. Revolutionary Army, World Government, very similar in that aspect of level power. Some are slightly ahead, some are slightly lower. The fact that Charles and his dad have not given up Shiroshi, I think that will lead or led to a later situation. And then the fact that Cobra was genuinely told not to bring his daughter with him. So, good for story, but not a lot that we don't already know. A lot of this is hinted. Some stuff could lead to me later on, but it's a set up chapter with a little action. You know I'm big on action. So to me, similar rating, I'm giving this a 3.5. I like it. I think it could be better. So you have a 9, 10, 11, 12.5. Typically I get like right around 13. Pacing for me, I said, was phenomenal. Character, 4 out of 5. Really good. So the only thing to me is the story falls short. So if you saw anything else that I didn't and you want to point it out to me, please let me know. Leave a like, drop a hi, comment. This has been Jolly Green 1990s review of Chapter One Piece, of Chapter 1083 of One Piece, titled The Truth About That Day.